Okay, good afternoon. This is EWhitefield, and I am recording week 11's video for my CIT326 class. So, for this week, it says to show you the new database that we created in GCP and describe the options that I selected when I created it. So that's the first step. I chose to create a MySQL database, mostly because I already had MySQL installed on my computer from a previous class. So it was less software to install on my computer and less time. As far as the options that I selected, you can see here that I went with MySQL 8.0. I turned off almost every feature that I didn't absolutely need in order to reduce overall costs. So auto storage increase is turned off, automatic backups is turned off. Point-in-time recovery is turned off. I did use the Iowa location, again, because it's the least expensive. So that's the basic configuration. I used one CPU. I used only 614 megabytes of memory, and then the 10 gigabytes of hard disk drive storage rather than the solid state. Here, this will be important later, but you can see that the IP address is here. And this is the instance name. And then as far as the firewall and network authorizations, you can see that I set up the network authorization here that would allow me to connect to it with my MySQL workbench, which we'll show you in a minute. And then on the network for the firewall, you can see here that I installed the MySQL TCP for port 3306, which is the standard for MySQL, which again would allow me to access that database, this database from remotely. For part 2 of the show that I was able to remotely connect to it, that I was running the 2 scripts and that I was able to get the database information. So here is my SQL workbench. You can see here that I have 2 connections. I have my local one that I created for my MySQL class. And then I have this one right here that is the address that we saw earlier. Let's go back to that real quick. You can see that matches up with this address right here. Okay, and I'm having trouble getting back to MySQL. There we go. That matches up with that address right there. And when I click on that, it will launch that SQL server. And you can see here that I have the Bowling League database installed, which means I was able to run the 2 scripts. You can see here script number 1, which created the database, script number 2, which filled in the database with data. And you can see that when I do a query, there's information in that database. So everything checks out. Everything is according to the schematic for the assignment. I really don't have anything else to say. So I will bid you guys all a great week, and I hope you guys have a great next week. See you in week 12.